Hi everyone, this is Lou Joseph with Remax Preferred Realty, and I'm just coming to you today to talk about February 2020 and what went on in the markets. So we had an increase in listings February of this year compared to last year. We had an increase of 11%. Sales have also increased by 13.5%, and the average price jumped up 21.5%, and that brings us to $381,999 for the average price of February 2020. Now, the most homes sold last month were between 220 to 550,000, and there was 100 of those homes that sold. And the second largest group was 300 to 360, where 78 homes sold last month. Now I'm going to talk about the median days to sell, so the average days that a home takes to sell. Now, if we're looking in Windsor in general, we have 11 days. So in February of 2020, it took on average 11 days for a home to sell. In certain areas, I'm just going to pick 3 areas that I'm very familiar with. If you'd like to get more information about areas that maybe I haven't mentioned, you can definitely give me a call or text or email. But I'm going to go into South Windsor here. Average sale time in South Windsor of last month was 10 days. So 10 days to sell. LaSalle's average time was 14 days to sell, and Tecumseh was 8 days to sell. So what the average days on market mean, it means that the demand is very high when that number is low, and demand is not so high when numbers are high. So if it takes, if we're out in Alberta and it takes 55 days to sell, that is a little softer market. The lower the number, the more demand and the more multiple offers that you're going to be facing in that kind of market. Now I'm going to talk about the list to sell ratio. So what that means is that whatever the list price was, how much did it go above the asking price? So in Windsor-Essex County in general, it was almost 6.5% above the asking price. That was the average sale price above the listing price. In South Windsor, it is 6.7% above the list price. In LaSalle, it's 1.3% above the list price, and in Tecumseh, it is 21% above the list price. So if you have a listing out there and you're thinking, okay, what would it go over the asking price? These are the general numbers for February of 2020. Now we're using residential property, and we're also using all the price ranges. So you can have a $500,000 home or a $300,000 home. So that number is just going to be averaged out, and that number is a little misleading, because if we take a look at Windsor, Tecumseh, and LaSalle, if we just take Windsor, Tecumseh, and LaSalle, and we go under $300,000, we see now that the list to sale ratio is actually 25%. So the average home that was for sale under 300,000, it went 25% above its asking price. So a lot different than the average in Windsor at 6.4%. Okay, now we're going to talk about a few headlines. Locally, it was announced that Chrysler will shut down their 3rd shift, which would affect 1,500 jobs. Now that is a pretty big job loss in our local economy. We definitely have to see how this plays out in the real estate market. I feel that we won't see any changes until the 4th quarter of this year and leading into next year. Whether that will be a more balanced market, or this market will continue to trend higher for whatever reasons, or would the prices come down? I can't predict the future, but I really feel that this could possibly bring us to a little bit more of a balanced market. So instead of 10 to 20 offers on homes, maybe we will have 5 to 10 offers on homes. But that remains to be seen as of now. Now, the Bank of Canada, along with the Federal Reserve in the United States, have reduced their interest rates. Now, part of the reason for that is the coronavirus. So the world economy right now has been slowing down because of this coronavirus. The stock market has experienced volatility, and to combat that, to combat any kind of deflationary pressures on the general markets, they've brought down interest rates. So Bank of Canada has lowered the rates by 50 basis points to 1.25%. Now, what that will do is that will prop up all assets. That will prop up equities, and it will prop up the real estate market. So this would actually keep Windsor-Essex County moving along strong because of the lower interest rates. And as we see in the foreseeable future, it looks like the trend is that they will keep reducing rates or hold them at these levels. So if you are in the market to buy and sell, what do you do? This market is pretty challenging for buyers, not so much for sellers, but the reality is not everybody is only selling a property, not buying. You're possibly looking to buy a property and sell your property. Now, if you're selling a property, you could do that very easily and put a 60 to 90 day possession date. But because of the low inventory, you may not be satisfied with what you see on the market, or you may not be even able to buy a property because you're competing with multiple offers. So what a lot of people are doing, they're buying first and selling second. In order to do that without the stress that, I know this sounds pretty stressful, without the stress of owning two homes, is that you need to talk to your mortgage broker and set up some kind of bridge financing. So what that means is that you buy a home and there's a 60-day closing. You sell your home, but maybe it closes in 70 days or 10 to 20 days after you buy your home. You would have to hold both mortgages, so you'd pay interest on both mortgages, but that would allow you to get into the home that you actually want. If you're putting a house to sell conditions, especially with homes that are listed under $350,000, you will not get the accepted offer. So this is a strategy you definitely need to talk to your mortgage broker about, is the bridge loan financing. And also, we have to be a little bit more aggressive in our offers. When we go against 5 to 10 to 20 offers, it's tough. It's tough to tell your clients to come up a certain number because we're so used to, I'm not used to this, but most buyers are used to a market from 5 to 10 years ago, and that didn't exist, where you're going 50, 70, 80, 100,000 over the asking price. So what you really want to do is you want to take a look at the comparables, what homes similar to this have sold for in a recent month or two. We can't go looking back 6 months, a year prior, because the market is uptrending. We can only look at data 1 month, 2 months out maximum, depending on what the property is, right? If it's some rare type of property, we have to go back a little further, but that's the general rule. So if you have any questions about real estate, or you're looking for a real estate agent to help you buy or sell in Windsor-Essex County, definitely give me a call. I'd be glad to help you out with any of your real estate needs. I do residential, commercial, and multifamily. I hope to hear from you soon and talk to you next time.